Hello, dear steppers. Hello, everyone who is interested in the step training, the straw bale building training for European professionals, which we do here in the presentation, the time plan for 2022. So for this year, and for next year, a preview for our courses in Portugal. In general, I will talk mostly about Step Zoom and the practical courses here in this presentation, because this year, many of our participants, of our future steppers, decided to do the Zoom workshops, not the real, not the theory in the training center. But in 2023, we have all the courses in a training center in Algarve, in Castro Marim. It's about 4 kilometers from the beach in sunny Portugal. So in general, the certified, step certified course has this theory parts, which we do in Zoom, except of one unit. This is step number 5, finishes, which is a combination of practice and theory. We do it in the training center here in Austria. This is the only course which will take place here in Ravensbach. All the other 7 courses from the 8 theory courses are happening on Zoom this year. And the practical building sites naturally are on real building sites. Some of them are in Austria, some of them are in Czech Republic, in Hungary, and some are planned for Istria or for other countries. You will see that. In general, the STEP certified course is a little bit different to the online course, where you have the certificate of achievement. This is the first here, this certificate. This is what you get when you do all the courses. You can choose if you do it in level 3 or level 4. This is EDGEWET levels, and you can there's a similar RQM or European qualification frame, EQF, for that EDGEWET level. The certification means in general that you did the course, all the courses. It's signed by the trainers or the trainer of this unit, and it helps you that if you look for a job afterwards, or whatever, do other studies on universities or whatever, then you can prove that you have done these courses. It's also accepted by all the member countries of ESPA, of the European Straw Bale Association. And when you did this course, then every company who works with straw bales especially, or also clay plaster, we see that you did this course or the complete training. And depending if you also did the practice, they can they see what your knowledge is in this case, and if it's combined with about 20 days of practice, then you get the certificate for certified straw bale builder. This is this one, which means you did the theory and the practice, and you have the knowledge, the competence, and the practical skills as well. What we have with Step Zoom is these are usually 5-day courses, starting at 9 o'clock until 12, and at 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's about 6 hours per day, 5 days. These are the Zoom workshops. Now, we have a lot of possible or interested steppers. Some of them are already registered. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which have told us their interest, and about 4 people who are interested doing the STEP course in 2023 in Portugal. The STEP Zoom workshop consists, as I said before, out of these 8 units. But I told you the natural finish course number 5 here, step number 5, is a course which is more practice than theory, and it's in the training center in Austria. But you can do this course naturally also online. It's with all the presentations. If you miss it in Austria, you can do it online by yourself. And the practical courses are to 4 units. So it's mainly infill and prefab. This is the most important techniques which you learn here, post and beam constructions, and the infill of straw bales in these constructions. Then we have step 3, load-bearing buildings. Then we have step 4, any kind of wrapping or thermal renovation. And step 5 is usually combined with all 3 units. These are natural finishes. Mainly we do clay and lime in the workshops, in the practical workshops. Cladding sometimes, but it's not really, it's more theory. So you will focus on clay and lime plasters, or clay plasters and lime renders. You can choose out of these 8 units, what unit you do via Zoom, or if you don't have time, if you miss a Zoom workshop, then you have naturally also access to the learning platform and can watch the presentation videos and all the units also online before a Zoom workshop as well as after, naturally. And with certified, you are not limited in time. You have this online platform with all its future updates. You have it and you can use it, and never gets out of validity. Or you can also combine these Zoom workshops naturally with workshops we do in Portugal in winter 2023, so in January to March 23. The order of the units, this is usually they are numbered, but we are not following exactly the numbers. We start with step number 7, which is planning the straw bale house. This is in the last years was quite good decision, because we start really also with your house maybe, or with a plan, or with the construction plan. Then you understand about the techniques, and then we execute this plan, whatever of your dream house or whatever you want to build, in the different techniques. So we make construction plan for infill in the unit 2, for load bearing in unit 3, as a wrapping project in unit 4, and so on, like that. This is why we start with number 7. The plan here, the time schedule, we start with number 7 in February, and for follow-up in March with the Zoom workshops. And the first practical workshops are starting in Easter holidays. These are Austrian Easter holidays, so on 8th of April. You see here for beginners and advanced, which means for beginners, this is if you never worked with straw bales before, then it's recommended, and this is the sign here, to start with this infill and wrapping practice, where we also do a project here in Ravensbach. It's in our virtual building site, and we will wrap one room in different techniques, and I will also show you how to work with the tools and how to work and handle the straw base, work with and handle the straw base, and so on. We come in detail to the different units and to the different projects, building site projects. Another course which I really recommend you is the step 5 finishes. Is everything about clay and lime and different surfaces, finishes, which you can do with clay or lime plasters, including the stuff like very fine plasters, we call it in German, Edelputze, or also Dadelakt. You learn about those things here. And there's a special Dadelakt and earth finishes unit where you do additional practice. But I recommend you this one. It's a theory combined with practice unit. So these two should be minimum when you do the courses. 2 practical courses, we have to Unit 2, mainly these 2 projects which are now fixed. One is in July, also both are in summer, in Mysovitz, in Czech Republic. These are tiny houses for twins, 2 twins who built these 2 houses where we make the infill and the clay plaster. In August, we have an addition on a farmhouse in Vement in South Hungary. For load bearing, it's not absolutely clear if we get the permission plan until this time, but I hope so. Then we will start in May with a roundhouse, a small roundhouse in Burgenland, in load bearing building technique. And it also has to be agreed, the exact date in summer, autumn. There's maybe a tiny house in Istria, which is, which we built in load bearing technique. For wrapping, I told you the Easter holiday, first week of Easter holidays, where we focus on the different wrapping techniques, but also on infill. So it's a combined workshop for both techniques, where you just learn before you go on a real building site and build a real wall, where you learn how to deal with and to work with straw bales and constructions. We have other wrapping projects, but it's not absolutely clear. They are planned for this year. One is in Brandt in Lower Austria, and one is in Tullnabach, also Lower Austria. But it's not clear if we really do these 2 projects. It's also a question of budget in this case. And then for natural finishes, we have this recommended course for the introduction in summer. And in general, earth plasters will happen whenever you have an infill project inside clay plaster. And whenever we do a wrapping, usually we have also the renders, the lime renders. So one is happening in July, and for earth clay, you have the possibility to join in April, in July, or August these courses. Now, in detail to the practical building sites and the practical courses, the infill and wrapping, which I recommend you as if you do it the first time to work with straw bales. This is here one room in the old house of our virtual building site, where you have also the straw bale house, and you will sleep in the straw bale house, as you see on the right side here, and you will learn about inside insulation and renovation a little bit. It's what we do is wrapping and working with bales and cutting bales and those things from April 8 to 12. Project we do in St. Marienkirchen is not for beginners because it's a fine plaster, but whoever already plastered with clay can join. There are only a few places left here on this workshop. It's a second holiday week in Easter holidays in April, so from 14th to 18th. This is a straw bale house. We already did the base plaster last year, and now we do the fine plaster, so the finish. The project of the load-bearing small straw bale house is a bigger project where there are two houses. One is the guest house we will build most probably in May. And then later on, maybe we started this year in autumn or next year, we will do the main house, which is bigger. The small house, guest house, is just around 6 meter diameter. The main house has about 12 meter and has a shape of an nautilus. It's a real big hobbit house, load-bearing construction with a post and beam construction for bearing the roof. So extra roof on top of that. The small guest house will have most probably a reciprocal roof on top of that. And it's in South Burgenland, as you see here in Gerasdorf-Küssing. Then the two tiny houses for the twins. The twins are Victor Gach, which is who is one of our trainers, building engineer and planner architect, and he and his twin. He builds a house for himself and for his twin brother, side on side. So there are these two smaller houses with each one with 2-story, which we will infill in July 11 to 16. And we have another workshop here on this building site 2 weeks later, where we do the clay plaster. In between, we have the step U5 finishes. This is in fact a theory course, step U5, but it's not made in Zoom. It's made, as I told you, on in the training center in Rabesbach on the virtual building site. Because there's a lot of praxis included in this theory, where you can see how and you work with whatever technique in earth and clay and lime renders, shown by Tony Auer and me, because he's not the best English speaker. Then we have this this base plaster on this two tiny house for the twins in Majsovice in Czech Republic. In August, 1st of August until 11th of August, we will make an addition to this farmhouse here in Verment. This is a family here living, which with a lot of wine also and winery, and it's the wine area, or one of the wine areas in South Hungary, near Danube. So there's also a natural reserve, a nice building site for summer where you can also sleep in tents or outside or whatever, and good food. And yeah, Michael Fischer will lead this workshop with me together. Michael Fischer is from Bibena, and Michael Fischer, and he is a very good clay plaster, lime renderer, and also for strawberry construction. Then we come to the projects where the date is not defined now. We will do it in summer or autumn. We'll see. Maybe also some of these projects are parallel to other projects. So one is a load-bearing straw bale house designed by one of our steppers from last year, Yuri Kos, who is also one of our architects, or we work together with him. So this is a load-bearing house he designed here in Istria, in Britz. So it's here in Croatia, and yeah, this is also one of the first houses on this building site, and later on there will be a more organic load-bearing, most probably also load-bearing house, which is bigger. This is a small, really tiny house as a start, a living place for the start. Then we have a bigger project here planned also in summer or autumn in Klagenfurt in Austria, in Carinthia. It's also not defined when we exactly start. This depends also from the carpenters, or if you do the carpentry, or if you build it with prefab. So it's planned now as a prefab straw bale house, where we build with Lorentz straw bale modules, but we also have some infill here and in the ceiling. So we will work with mainly the montage of the panels, the finishing of the infill and the clay plaster inside of this house. Then we have another modular straw bale house again with these Lorentz prefabricated panels in Breitstetten. This is between Vienna and Slovakian border, also in Lower Austria. And this is also still in finishing planning. So as soon as there is a permission plan, we can say when this building exactly happens. It will most probably start also in summer or autumn this year. And then we have two wrapping projects. One is in Brandt, nearly on the Czech border in Lower Austria, in Waldviertel Wood Quarter, and the other one is in Tulnerbach. So it can happen that we do both projects, partly both projects, or it can happen that we don't do any of these projects. It's not decided now, it's planned, but we'll see. So this was about the practical workshops for this year. There may be others, but these are the projects which are now planned. And we will, what you can do if you're interested in one of these practical workshops or in more of these practical workshops, go to stronatur.it workshops, and there you can register even for the projects which are not fixed now. And then we will inform you as soon as when we know there is a starting date for this project. Then we will send you an email and we'll ask you, do you still want to participate? So about the workshops we had to skip in the training center because there was not one registration until now for theory workshops in the training center. So we do this year workshops via Zoom, the theory workshops via Zoom, and which were really successful last year, and it's much more fun than you can imagine to do these Zoom workshops. But next year, or in next winter, so from January to March, we will do all the courses of the STEP training in 3 months during winter time. Now in Algarve in winter, it's quite nice. It's not hot as in summer, but it's quite nice, and the place is about 3 to 4 kilometers from the beach. And there, as you see here, this is the training place, Quinta de Fornalha in Castro Maraim, really south of Portugal. This is an agroturismo project with permaculture, and about 10 rooms or flats for participants, which all consist of a double bed in one room, another room which is smaller with about 4 beds in it. So we will make this to a single bedroom most probably. And as there are 10 of these flats, you can also choose to have a double bed or a single bed in these rooms. We will do the workshops on site, and we'll have building sites around. So we have one of the places is this Quinta de Fanalia, and the other project, bigger project and association, is near Albufeira, where we are meant to do practical workshops on typically Portugal, on old ruins. So restoring old ruins and rebuilding them. And so this is a mixture. The practical workshops will take place partly in the training centers, partly around the training centers, all in this area in Algarve, south of Portugal. South of Portugal. And yeah, we were there, and as you see here on the right picture, the places in front of these flats are nice places to sit together and make theory and units. You will take your computers with you, or your papers and handbooks, and it's really most probably a nice time here to spend the cold winters in sunny Algarve in Portugal in 2023. In general, you can combine, even if you do the Zoom courses or online courses in this year, in 2022, you can combine it with some of these units or all of these units in 2023 in winter, whatever you choose. For certified steppers, for the step certified training, you can do all the units as often as you want. You are not limited. This is the biggest course, step certified. For online, you can choose which practical unit you want to do. There is usually no Zoom workshop included in the online step training, but you can book whatever practical unit you want to do to learn also practical skills in addition. And for Zoom, you can do just the Zoom theory, or you can also do some Zoom workshops combined with practical building sites in Austria, Hungary, Czech Republic, or also in Portugal. So you are really free to select the units which fit perfectly in your time schedule, in your availability. And last not least, I want to say that you can also do the courses, the step training during the next 2 years if you are busy beside the step training. Then you can also do some units this year, some units next year. What we cannot guarantee at this moment is that after this step training, that there is another step training in Austria next year. What we most probably can guarantee, if we have minimum of 5 participants for Portugal, that we do this practical and theory courses in the training center in Castro Marim. After that, we will see. It depends on the participants every year. And yeah, it's also possible that we focus next year, the rest of next year, to projects, to build projects and practical building sites, and not repeat the training during the year. So, which means you can select between 2022 and 2023, but don't rely that after that you have the same possibilities for theory courses. Most probably, yes, for workshops, but theory courses. we'll see. So this was the short introduction in the step training for the next 2 years. I hope there's a lot of interesting courses and trainings for you. Yeah, I hope we see us in one or course or maybe in the complete step training, whether you do it online in Zoom or as a certified, which means combined Zoom workshops with practical workshops, or in 2023 combined theory in the training center in Algarve with practical workshops there or wherever you want to do that. Thank you for watching and hope to see you in the step training. Ciao.